There we go. Happy Moon Day. I hope you had a good sleep in. I want to go live today to talk to you about ways that you can build more strength into your Ashtanga practice or into any yoga practice, really. I know that there's a lot of people who are feeling that strength is a limiting factor in your yoga practice, and I know how that feels, and I don't want you to feel that way. And there's a lot of easy ways that you can build more strengthening into your yoga practice. So I'm going to talk to you about those right now. My number one way to build more strength, sorry, I'm moving around here a little bit, into your yoga practice, I'll demonstrate in a second, is to hold plank, right? Holding plank is your best bet on getting strong enough to do chaturanga well. It's also basically a handstand, but horizontal. There's a lot of benefits to holding plank. In Pilates, holding plank is considered full body integration. So full body integration means that everything is working. Your arms, your back, your abs, your legs, your glutes, all of it. So that makes holding plank super useful in your yoga practice. Next thing is to hold chaturanga. This is obviously more difficult, so you want to be well established in holding plank first before you hold chaturanga. Because holding chaturanga can be more difficult, my suggestion is in your yoga practice, hold every third chaturanga. So you could do two kind of regular, hold the third one. Then we're going to talk about using blocks to help you lift up in Lolasana after Navasana. I'm going to show you a couple other places you can work additional ab work into your yoga practice, because that's what's super helpful. And then I'm going to show you a pike position that you can do before headstand to help you gain shoulder girdle stabilization, to help you gain ab strength, to help you gain back strength. So let me pull my hair back out of the way because I got a lot of it. And then I'm going to hop on my mat and we're going to talk about those points. All right. So starting with holding a high plank. Basically, anytime you step back, pre-chaturanga, come into a high plank. Avoid this, avoid this. You want to be fully integrated. So remember how I said in Pilates, plank is called full body integration? You want to do full body integration here. Crease of the wrist parallel to the short edge of the mat. Take your shoulder blades and don't let them wing. Spread them so that your back is integrated. Step back, find the high plank. Abs pull in, back is toning, thigh bones lift up, so it's all integrated. My heels reach in one direction, crown of my head in the other direction. This is your best opportunity to get strong enough for chaturanga. Okay, now chaturanga, you want to basically take that plank and lower it down. That can be more difficult. If it's hard for you, I would suggest starting from the floor, rolling the heads of your shoulders up and back, toning your low belly, pushing your toes under, lifting the thigh bones up, and then pushing from here. So if you can get up off the mat, awesome. If you can't get up off the mat, still push like you were in chaturanga. Every third chaturanga, hold it. So when every third chaturanga in a sun salutation or in a vinyasa, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then upward facing dog from there. Now remember, strength is available to you if you look for it. I would actually even suggest entering upward facing dog from a position of strength versus just pushing yourself into the shape. Let's look at next the Lolasana Lift after Navasana. I suggest blocks. If you think this is hard, use blocks. They make your arms longer. They're arm extenders. It's going to make it a lot easier to lift up. And this lift after Navasana is a great place to build more strength. So in the Ashtanga sequence, we do 5 Navasanas. Do your best to get a good Navasana. You can use your hands a little bit. I like also using the hands here if you need to. But basically everything's pulling in and lifting up out of the pelvis. Toes on the mat is okay too. You want to do 5 Navasanas, at least 5 breaths. If you are trying to build strength, I would go for more like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 breaths even. Add longer navasanas to help you build more strength. In between each navasana in Ashtanga, we do a Lolasana, and this is when the blocks can come in handy. Often when I see people in doing the lift for a Lolasana after Navasana, well, there's a few things that happen. One, people skip Navasana altogether and just like run to the bathroom or something if it's a leg class. But two, it's like kind of like a little lift like this. I mean, that's kind of the bare minimum. No, let's call that the bare minimum. If you can't lift up because you have tight hip flexors or because your arms are short or because it's just too hard, use blocks. And even if you can't lift up at all, you still push down. You keep pushing down, you keep pushing down. One of these days, you're going to lift up. The blocks are super helpful though. So cross your legs up as close to the shins as you can. I'll do this once or twice so you can see a couple of different angles. Crossing up to the shins can be really helpful. Hands underneath the blocks, lift up. And if you're able to kind of get into that real Lolasana and then hold it, get a good count, put it back down, and then you are back in Navasana. Now remember, you do that 5 times in Ashtanga. If you do it well and you really push up and pull in every single time, you're going to build strength. Let's look at it from the side one more time. So again, Navasana, get good lines here, really integrate Navasana. Everything's lifting up and pulling into your midline. Minimum 5 breaths. I mean, I shouldn't say minimum. If you're new, it's going to be even fewer. But once you're proficient, it's a minimum of 5 breaths if you're looking to build more strength. And then when you're going for that lift, hands on blocks really help. Pull yourself into the tightest ball that you can. To pull yourself into a tight ball, it's a lot of core work and it requires a lot of hip flexors. If you have tighter hip flexors, that can be difficult. That's when these blocks are going to come in handy. So you make yourself as tight as you can. Lots of deep ab work here. Push up. If you can swing back, and just try to hold. Get a couple of good breaths there, lower it back down, and then go to your next Navasana. Next opportunity to build strength. This is a great one, and people always miss it. Anytime you are starting a posture, lying down on your back, you would jump through, sit down, lie down. Now, usually people just like lie down. I want you to deliberately lie down so you're using your core. So reach your arms forward, that can help. Pull the belly in, round your back, and think about lowering down, bone. Try it with me if you're watching. Bone, bone, by bone. So you do a curl all the way down. Next posture I wanted to show you is Supta Padangusthasana, where you grab your big toe and lift up. People usually pull the leg, stretch the hamstring, and then lift up. My suggestion to you to build in more strength into your practice is to lift up, no arms. I mean, you can still use your arms, but don't pull, and feel the core lift you up. And you could do the same on the other side. So the core lifts you up. It becomes abdominal work. It becomes a chest lift. And then go ahead and take the rest of the posture from that position. But that is another way to build more strength into your practice. But I really like the rolling down as well, because we do that several times. So we do it between or before Supta Padangusthasana. We do it before Setu Bandhasana. We do it before Urdhva Dhanurasana. So it's a really good place to control the abs down. And then the last one I'm going to show you is the entry to headstand. Now, my suggestion would be to make sure you can do this before you try headstand. So we do headstand at the end of practice. And what I'm going to suggest you do is walk into headstand and come into a plank, a pike position. So this is a pike, right? Your hips are up high. I'm really integrating my shoulders. My head's hovering off the mat. I'm going to try to hold it here. And you can build up strength. You can lift one leg, hold. You can build up the other leg, hold. But this is a great place to work on building core strength and shoulder girdle stabilization. I'll show you the shoulder view as well so you can see what that looks like. So I set up for headstand, interlace the fingers, I press my forearms down, I pull my elbows in, I fill in the space between my shoulder blades. My head is hovering, my hips are as high as I can get them. I'm shifting the weight of my body forward into my arms. I don't put my head down. I can lift a leg up to make it even more difficult. I can lift a leg up to make it more difficult. You can hold this for as long, hold it for as long as you can. And then you work on building shoulder girdle stabilization and you work on building core strength. Once that's feeling pretty proficient, then you can build that into piking or lifting into a Shirshasana or headstand. So those are a few ways I suggest working on integrating and building more strength into the practice that you're already doing. And I do want to emphasize that, like, this is a practice that you're already doing. You do your Ashtanga practice 5 or 6 days a week. And I think sometimes when I suggest to people that you do some Pilates, in addition to yoga, it can feel overwhelming because so many of us struggle to find time to do yoga. And it's like, well, who has time for another exercise during the day? I mean, awesome if you do, but if you don't, then these are great ways to get stronger in your practice. So let's just review them one more time. If you missed it, go back and watch the replay. It is holding plank, probably my number one tip. Holding chaturanga. If you're having trouble holding chaturanga, just hold every third chaturanga. You don't have to hold every single one. We do 60 of them. That's a ton. Hold every third chaturanga. Working not only Navasana, like adding a little extra breath in Navasana, but working that lift in Navasana. Working that lift is key. So hard. Use the blocks. It makes it easier. Then rolling down for your postures that you do lying on your back, use your core to roll down, and then working on that pike position pre-headstand. So those are my tips. I hope that was helpful. If you click the link in my bio, I've got some free Pilates videos. And I also have a weightless transition videos, and to help you with jump backs and jump throughs, and I cover some of these things in that video also. And those are, if you send me your email address, you get those videos. So it's a trade. Does anyone have any questions? Well then, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and have a really good weekend and happy Moon Day. Bye. Yeah, watch the replay. I think it'll help you because it's stuff that you're probably already doing. You could just do it a little bit more, focusing on the core, like drawing in the core, like you said. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great weekend. Did I end this thing successfully? Let's see. Here we go. Bye.